Hello everyone, it's Chelsea Face Reads. I wanted to bring you a quick little first impressions today. I finished reading Jean Bride. It is story and art by Hitomi Takano. This has been getting a lot of hype recently, in at least the manga circles that I've been frequenting, and it's a josei new manga from Seven Seas. It was pitched, from my understanding, as a story about a genetic program in Japan where people are given to each other based off of their genetics, like their predispositioned partners or marriage partners or whatever. I think this is obviously not getting into that as early on as some people are expecting, so I've been seeing a lot of negative opinions on this as it's been released. That's a very close premise to another manga that I've been reading recently, Love and Lies, but josei form and a little more mature and less drama heavy. This is really well written. I really have enjoyed this so far. I definitely will be continuing the series, but I'm going to give you just a really quick little synopsis about it from this first volume without reading the back, because I think that the back probably jumps further into the manga series than this first volume can give you, and that might be why a lot of people have been disappointed by the first volume. So we're following this girl here on the cover. She is, I believe she works for a marketing agency. I'm not quite sure exactly what her job title is. They did not really clarify it, if I didn't miss that part of it. And she interviews people and writes about it, and she has a really cool boss. She's like a bigger lady who's super supportive, and they obviously have feminist values because there's a lot of scenes in here where she's afraid to go alone because men are really creepy. Like, a few things happen to her that aren't quite like a crime. Well, one of them is, but they're not quite like over that line of being invasive, but also just a little too far for a man to do in public. There's one that is totally illegal, but you know what I'm saying. Like, if you're a woman, you know these creepy dudes and the things that they say and do around you that just make you feel uncomfortable and unsafe, and how we live in a patriarchy. And that's kind of what she's kind of insinuating in this series. Her boss is very supportive though. She's like, well, if all this stuff keeps happening to you when you go out for these interviews and travel alone, maybe we should get you a escort, like a male escort, to come with you, and people will take you more seriously, because sometimes the men that are with her won't take her seriously just because she's a woman. So he's like, you know, the guy doesn't have to say anything. He can just sit there with you, see how that goes. We can pay him even. He can be an employee. And she's like, okay, we'll try it. And she meets this guy who comes in from her past, and he's really weird and quirky in a really interesting way. I really like his character. He's very different for a shoujo josei male protagonist. I'm not sure if he's going to be like a love interest or anything yet. I have no idea. He's so eccentric, and I really like that about him. But this is essentially going to be just her. It seems to be about her job so far. But I think we're getting into something a little more mysterious, because at the very end, there's like a little twist that happens. Kind of reminds me of the twist in Kowloon, but not the same, but still that kind of, bam, here's a surprise. So at the very, very end, there is like a cliffhanger of what this is turning into, and I think that's probably leaning more into the synopsis that people were expecting. So I do urge you that if you're reading this and the first volume doesn't do what the synopsis tells you it's going to do, maybe give it 2 volumes instead. I usually try to give 2 volumes to a series anyway, so I will be picking up the second one. This was really, really interesting, and I wasn't sure if I would like it at first based off of it not being what the synopsis said it would be. So I'm worried that Seven Seas might be getting a little bit ahead of themselves with their synopsis writing. People are expecting the series to be one way, and then when they pick up the first volume, it's not that at all. And while I understand that like people should be less instant gratification in their brain, I fully believe that we've got to break ourselves of that habit if we ever want to move forward and evolve as people. This was really good, and I think that people need to give it more time, and I think that Seven Seas probably should include a little bit more of what actually happens in this first volume in their synopsises, instead of jumping to maybe the second or third volume, whatever that happens, because people are going to be disappointed, and they might pick up the first volume, which would be great for sales, but then they might really dive off and leave bad reviews and make this look really like false advertising. So I do recommend that you give it a try. I'm definitely excited for the second volume. I think that this could be really interesting. I liked it a lot. The art's really, really pretty too. But yeah, I hope that you guys are having a great day. Thank you so much for watching this little review first impressions of this manga. I think that it has a lot of potential, especially in the josei scene. We've got to support josei if we want to see more of it. So please check this one out if you're interested. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more of my manga content. Bye guys!